Give me 2 minutes. This is my work corner. This is why when I print my pictures at home, then I bring them down here and I put them in mats and frames. I've been almost framed.
For this week's Mountain Memories episode, I drove out to Hinton, West Virginia to have a conversation with Curt Messer, a West Virginia transplant from Michigan who claims that West Virginia is his home by choice, and one who has lived in the state for the majority of his 89 years. I met Curt at his photography workshop where he showed me an inside look at some of his photos, model trains, and handmade mountains. He's a proud veteran, and between his stories of being a kid during World War II, an official U.S. Army photographer, and his stories from being stationed in Germany, you'll definitely want to stick around for this week's Mountain Memories.
I really love my uncle, and the last time I saw him, I was 10 years old. It was in the fall summer of 1941, which was August or thereabouts. He was getting ready to go overseas. He was in the Army. He was in the CCC, the Civil Conservation Corps. They were saying goodbye in August of 1941. I have to emphasize that because December 1941 is when Pearl Harbor was bombed. When he was getting ready to leave, he was hugging and kissing on his sisters and my aunts and the family and so forth. And I was standing there watching all this, a 10-year-old boy watching all this. So then he walked over and picked me up and gave me a bear hug. Really a bear hug, kissed me on both cheeks and rubbed noses like the Eskimos do. It was a tradition that my dad and my aunt carried on. He whispered in my ear, "Curt, be a good soldier for me because I'm not coming back." Now I was 10 years old and it kind of caught me off guard. I didn't know what to say, and then I said, "Okay, Uncle Martin, I will.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're standing by for further word from Honolulu, and we expect to rejoin them in just a moment. However, here's a bulletin.
I was carrying a bucket of coal in for a warm morning heater in the living room. And as I stepped in the back door, I heard my dad say, "Oh my God, not that!" And I froze. I thought, what did I do? The announcement was just over the radio and over that little TV we had, that the Japanese had bombed Pearl Harbor. And I said, "What's going on, Dad?" And he said, "The Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor." And I said, "Uncle Martin's there." Well, unknown to us, he wasn't there. He had been shipped to the Philippines in Manila. April 1st, 1942, I walked in from school, and my father was sitting at the kitchen table. And anytime Dad sat at the kitchen table, something serious was going on. I walked in, he said, "Where's your brother?" And I said, "He's behind me." So he said, "Sit down." So now this was April Fool's Day. I noticed that he had his cup of coffee and there was a yellow piece of paper in front of him. Dad said, "Here, read this." So he slid this piece of yellow paper over to me. It was a telegram. I looked at it and it says, Master Sergeant Martin Julius Messer was killed in an accident in the Philippines. And I threw it back at him. I said, "Dad, that's one heck of a joke for April Fool's Day." He said, "Curdy, it's not." I said, "What do you mean?" "That says that Uncle Martin was killed." He said, "Yes. Yes." So my military career began there. And I've been trying to be a good soldier for him. And My sister and I have been trying for 50 years to find out where Master Sergeant Martin Julius Messer was buried. It took us 50 years. 3 years ago, the phone rang and I said, Messers, and she said, hi Curdy, it's Marilyn. And then she gave the word to me that we found that Master Sergeant Martin Julius Messer is buried in the American Cemetery in the capital of the Philippines in Manila. So after 50 years, I put that to rest. I was in France stationed in France for 3 years. I was in the city of Orleans. Now here we call it Orleans, but in France it's called Orleans. But every year they have what they call the Festival of Joan of Arc. Because my mother's name was La Belle, and it's French, and I've told this one lady that worked in our cafeteria that my mother's maiden name was La Belle. She said, "Oh, you parlez-vous français?" And I said, "Oui, un petit peu," which means a little bit. Anyway, she said that she knew the young lady was going to take the part of Saint Joan. So I said, "Well, is there any possible way that this photographer can get some pictures of the maiden preparing for the festival she wore the armor and she wore everything?" And she said, "Yes." Whoa! When can I do it? I said, I'll just tell my boss that I'm going to photograph Joan of Arc, and I'm the only American photographer to ever photograph the maiden Joan of Arc before and during the ceremony. So as Joan of Arc came around in front of the cathedral was monstrous. He said. So he called me out in the middle of the street, and I got a picture of Joan of Arc with the guards coming up the street, and it was absolute classic. My camera was a key to a lot of places that normally wouldn't even let me get in. So if you look at it twice, photograph it.
If you've enjoyed this video, please make sure to like it and to subscribe to our channel. You never know what stories are going to come next. Also, if you have a story that you would like to share or you'd like to support our channel, you can go and visit our website, which is in a link in the description below. Let's keep sharing the stories that made us.